Hey everyone, I'm going to explain the mental health disorder project for those of you that were not in class, or for those of you where I wasn't in class on even days period 4. So go ahead and click on modules. Scroll down to the mental health disorder project in mental and emotional health for marking period 2. So before we get overwhelmed, there is a lot of directions and information in this website. There also is a rubric at the bottom, but this is just to let you know what I'm expecting. This assignment is worth 45 points. I'm going to do my best to use this as your midterm grade, but I think it might be a little too early for me to do that, so I have to talk to the principals and see if I can do that. So I'm going to try. All right, so back up to the top here. So what we're going to do is we're going to first click on this Google Docs link because you guys are going to sign up for a topic. So there's a ton of different topics that you can choose. Just so you guys know, this is a working document. If you all click on the link at the same time from your class, you'll see little circles up here of people that are logged in, and it will show you who's logged in. As you can see here on one of my other classes, people have signed up and they just picked a topic and they signed up. This student here has picked 2 to complete, so that was his choice, and he's choosing 2 to give me some information about. So here's how this works. All of the topics that are underneath of the diseases that are underneath the mental health disorder that is in a color fit underneath that mental health disorder. So for example, impulse control disorders are kleptomania, cutting, pyromania, excessive gambling, and compulsive shopping. These 5 diseases, mental health diseases, fit under impulse control disorders. Over here for anxiety disorders, phobia, OCD, panic disorders, PTSD, or generalized anxiety disorder, those 5 diseases fit under the mental health disorder anxiety disorders. So you guys can choose to do the entire group of disorders, or you can choose to do 1 or 2. So let's say I wanted to choose the entire grouping of impulse control. I would type my name, and then I would put a dash all the way across showing that I was going to do that entire grouping of disorders. But maybe I only wanted to do OCD. Then I would just type my name here, if I could spell. And that would be my list of what I was going to do. So maybe I would do either all of the impulse control disorders, or maybe I would just do obsessive compulsive disorders. When you type your name in here, it saves it automatically, just like Google Forms always does. The problem is if there's 15 people in this document at one time, just pay attention to the different colors that show up, because each of you will be assigned a different color to work on. Do not erase anybody's name. Do not change anybody's name, because when I click up here on this arrow, it says that I can view the history of who does what. So if I click on this one, it will show that I changed and who was on here this morning. It says that there were no comments, the sharing history, what I did to change it, and who did all of the viewing, okay? So don't change anybody's stuff because I can see who makes adjustments. Let's not do that, okay? So those are your options for deciding how you're going to sign up for your mental health disorder project. So sign up for your topic, and then you have to decide what you're going to do or how you're going to present it to me. You're not orally presenting it. You're just going to turn in the assignment by submitting your assignment up here like you always do, okay? So some ideas for ways to present it. You can write me a paper. You can do a poster. But Mrs. Barnes, I don't have any markers or paper or anything like that. Just use Google Docs, use Google Slides, You can use Google Drawings. There's a ton of different options that you have there to present a poster for me. You can do a virtual classroom like you did for your virtual locker. Go back and watch those directions again, and you can link things that show you different ideas. Or you can you can give me an oral presentation by using Screencastify, Screencast-O-Matic, or I'm going to get everybody assigned with a Flipgrid account next week. So you'll be able to give me your information via Flipgrid if you want to do that. If you don't like these 4 options, click on this website here, and it takes you to 62 different ideas for a project. I'm not choosing your project. You guys have to choose your project. So there's biographies, there's a blog, there's board games, there's a coat of arms, there's comic strips, there's drama, there's murals, there's poems or raps, there's a vocabulary quilt, there's a storyboard, you could make a stamp. There's tons of different ideas that you guys can use. But when you pick your topic or the way that you're going to present it, you have to remember that when you're researching your particular topic, these are the 8 things that you need to complete in order to get all of your points for this presentation. You have to give me the description of your mental health disorder. You have to give me a few statistics. You need to give me your signs and symptoms. You need to give me some treatments. You need to give me some tips and tips for managing the illness. Give me some cause and risk factors. Give me some creativity when you do it, and give me some other interesting information. All right? Make sure that you use Wikipedia when you do this assignment, because most of the time Wikipedia is hit or miss with if it's truthful or not. So I've given you some suggested sites. They are all listed here. So let's say I picked OCD. So I'm going to click on this mental health site, and up here in the search bar, I'm going to click OCD and see what it can give me. And right here is a link for obsessive compulsive disorder, and it gives me a little blurb about what obsessive compulsive disorder is. I might be able to use it for the description of mental health disorder. I think I need a little bit more than that little description, so I might click on NAMI, because that's the National Institute for Mental Health, and I'm going to type up here OCD. But if you look over here, look at all of the different health topics that are up here. I could actually click right there. Obsessive compulsive disorder, and there's a ton of information. Signs and symptoms, compulsions versus obsessions, risk factors, genetics, environment. There's a ton of different stuff in here. When you're looking for a statistic, you're looking for something that has a number in it. Okay, so this right here could be a statistic. Most people are diagnosed by about age 19, typically with earlier ages of onset in boys than in girls, but onset after 35 can happen. Okay, and here it says for statistics on OCD in adults, click on this website. So when you click on it, it gives you a bar graph. It gives you another 34.8% of adults with OCD had moderate impairment. So the statistics is anything that has a number. Okay, so any type of numbering is in there. Now, unfortunately, this website has not been updated, but that's kind of what happens with some statistics. It's hard to get current information for things like this. So that's nothing that we can do to prevent that. All right. So once you find your website that you like that's going to give you a ton of information, make sure that you cite it. At the bottom, tell me where you got it from so that we don't get in trouble for plagiarizing. Okay? The grading rubric is down here at the bottom. It tells you all those things that I told you to tell me in your project, and then how many points you can earn for each part of it. All right? Now, some of you guys need a checklist. Some of you don't. Those of you that have legal documentation that says I must provide a checklist, you're going to click on it and make a copy. Make sure that you save it into your file, into your health folder. Make sure you change the name and save it into your health folder. At the end of the class for your first class, so either by 12-3 or 12-4, you need to pick a topic. So I chose OCD. I'm going to check that off. I entered it into our Google document, into that Excel sheet that I had. And now I just need to pick about how I'm going to present it. And I think I'm going to choose, actually, I think I'm going to choose to do a slideshow. I'm going to use Google Slides to present my information to show you. Oops. Oh my goodness. Okay. So then I can X that off. So I know now about what I'm going to do to present this topic. And now I'm going to move on and I'm going to start thinking about how I'm going to do my research. So I know that I need to make sure that I get these 8 things completed. Now, some of you will receive an inbox from me stating whether you need to do all 8 of these or whether you need to do 4 out of the 8. So look out for that inbox. It's not all of you, but it is a select few of you that do have legal documentation that says I need to adapt the assignment. Okay? The big thing is to submit by 12/11 or 12/14. Oops, looks like this should say 12/14. All right? Even day kids, you need to do this by 12/14, and odd day students, this needs to be completed by 12/14. All right, so 12/11 for even day kids, 12/14 for odd day kids. And it does say that here in your Canvas page. It tells you when it is due, okay? But this checklist is helpful to make sure that you're not procrastinating, to make sure that you keep everything in check. All right, if you have questions, reach out. I will look forward to seeing you guys in class the next time I see you. Have a good weekend.